the open road ahead as a chance to discover what they themselves are capable of. That's why we build machines, not in pursuit of technology, but in pursuit of potential, in our cars and in the people who drive them. We push our technology, and when we do, it pushes back, inspiring you to move forward with enhanced senses, faster reflexes, and heightened control. This is you, elevated, inspired, driven. Infiniti, empower the drive.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Nick Schwark. I'm the Director of Corporate Communications for Infiniti in the Americas. And on behalf of our company, I'd like to welcome you to San Diego and the Global Media Test Drive for the Infiniti Q60. So hoping you guys will have an enjoyable time with us over the next few days. We have some very special guests here who've joined you as discussion partners. And we should have a very enjoyable program. Before we get started with the presentation, I'd like to introduce you to a few distinguished individuals. From the Infiniti Design San Diego organization, Hirohisa Ono. From the Vehicle Dynamics Engineering area, Mineki Iwaki. And my colleague Keith St. Clair from Infiniti America's Product Planning. In the back of the room, Peter Bedrosian from the Product Management Team for Q60. And in the back here, my colleague Jody Davies from IML PR Team, who's here to assist you with any photography or video needs. And joining a bit later will be my colleague Allison Witherspoon, who's our Director of Marketing. But I'd also like to introduce a very special guest. Our president, Roland Kruger, is here with us from Hong Kong. He's just about to leave for the Paris Motor Show. And before we get started, I'd just like to let Roland say a few words.
Well, first of all, it's good to see you, and thanks for taking the time to come by. This is a very special occasion for us, as we are launching the Q60. And the Q60 is not only something that is well placed in our heritage and our history of coupes that Infiniti was quite famous for so far. It is also what we consider a brand shaper. It's the next step of our brand development. Why do we say so? You will drive the car tomorrow, and you will see for yourself. But when we look at what we've built into the car, the technology that we have, starting from the new engine, the V6 engine, twin turbo, we'll have a 400 horsepower car available tomorrow, to the digital suspension. That's a new suspension system that we put into this car, plus an updated direct adaptive steering, which you can actually set according to your own likes and your own preferences. We have a very, very specific and unique package, technological package. It's actually a technological marvel when you go through all these different items. On top of that, and you've seen the car outside, the car is representing the next design line that we will see in many of our future vehicles. It represents the Infiniti design direction. And we have a design director from our studio here today that will take you through some of the details here. So it is a car that represents the future of Infiniti when it comes to the design, the technology, and the positioning. And that's very important for us. So you will have ample opportunity to experience the car, to have our colleagues explain some of the technologies, and also have the opportunity to see for yourself the next generation of Infiniti when it comes to driving dynamics and when it comes to everything we have put into this car to make this a very, very unique vehicle. That having said, we have the specialists here, so I'm not going to take away all the details they will share with you. But again, we'd like to thank you for coming here today and tomorrow spending time with us. Please enjoy the time on behalf of Infiniti. I'm really happy that we can have a little bit of a time together. I'm on my way off to Paris in a few minutes, unfortunately, but I got some very good feedback already from some of the groups, and please use the opportunity to talk to the colleagues also. So again, thanks for coming by, and I hand over to Keith, who will take you through some of the product prerequisites. Enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you, Ron. Well, good evening, good afternoon. For those of you who haven't met, I'm looking around to see a few familiar faces. I'm Keith St. Clair, Director of Product Planning for Infiniti Americas. I'm going to take you through a little bit of the background of Q60 as we get into this presentation. What I would say up front, though, is this is, as Roland was saying, this is a brand shaper for us. And for me, this is really an exciting vehicle to launch. You don't get many opportunities in your career to be part of exciting vehicles like this coupe. To me, what I would tell you is this car, the coupe, is the purest expression of our brand DNA. It has the latest technology, the latest design expression, the latest power expression. So to me, it's an exciting time to be part of the Infiniti brand. Before we jump into a bit of the details on the car, I wanted to share with you a little bit about the segment to give you some context of where it participates. This chart is a picture of the premium market globally. So if I were to show you one for the US, it would look largely the same, except you wouldn't see many or any wagon sales there. But nonetheless, the picture is largely the same. And what I will tell you is that, as you can tell, most of the story in the premium sector the last few years has been about the growth of SUVs, and it's very clear. In fact, last year in 2015, in the US, the D segment SUV became the largest segment in the premium market, overtaking the D sedan. So there's clearly a story behind SUVs. So if you look at the bottom of the chart, you see coupes. No matter how you slice it, these cars are relatively rare. Only 5% or so of the overall market, these cars are relatively rare. And I would say they're very special. The fact is, and what I've been telling people, is that nobody ever needed a coupe. They just don't meet the functional requirements for most of us in our daily drivers. Rather, these are objects of desire. People really want them. And the mission of a coupe is actually very simple. It's to make your heart beat faster. And I think that our Q60 coupe certainly does that. Well, as Roland was mentioning, coupes are part and parcel of who we are. We love coupes. We've had 2 prior generations, and to many people, this is the car that put the brand on the map for them. Back in 2002, we launched the first G35. It was a commercial success right from the beginning. For 3 years running, it was the segment leader. And again, this is the car that largely solidified Infiniti for so many people. It gave the brand immediate lift. Then a few years later, in 2007, we introduced the G37 with a slightly larger engine, more horsepower, and we updated the platform. This essentially advanced the performance credentials of the coupe. So we've had 2 generations of successful coupes. So, well, before I go to the next piece, I want to tell you a bit about the heart of that car. Both generations of the coupe had the BQ series engine under its hood. This engine was first introduced in 1995. It is an award-winning engine, one of Ward's best engines for 14 years in a row. What you're going to experience tomorrow is the next generation of V6 engines, the VR series, and this was the inspiration. So this is very much a phenomenal engine, and so with this and the history of the coupe, the new coupe has some big shoes to fill. What I will tell you is that what we have is what I would call a proper successor. Yes, it has some big shoes to fill, but I believe that you'll come away with the conclusion that it is a proper successor as well. A couple of very simple charts to look at. This just shows you some dimensions. There's two slides here. You'll get this information. But if you just look at it in general, step back, looking at the previous coupe and the new one is lower, it's wider, a little bit longer. There's a bit more interior room. But I would tell you it's much more powerful, yet it's also much more efficient. So on most facets, just on this slide alone, this car, the new car, is substantially advanced versus the previous one. This next slide shows you a number of other elements where the car is on the key fundamentals has been improved. At the top of the slide is one of the key messages. Where the previous car had only one powertrain, the new one has 3. So we've dramatically increased our coverage in the offering of Q60 in the marketplace. And you can see from those numbers that the horsepower is quite compelling, but what's not shown there is the torque, which you'll feel in the 400 horsepower car. So we have 3 powertrains, where we used to have 1, and across every one of these metrics, the car is dramatically improved. So the car is truly completely renewed, except for one thing that we've carried over, and that's the family DNA. It's still very much an Infiniti through and through. You'll also get a chance to experience the new Bose audio system, next generation of Bose audio, the new performance series debuts in the Q60. And there's a USB in the vehicles that has some sample music, gives you a chance to test the new system. It's phenomenal. 13 speaker system, new amplifiers, new surround sound technology. It's phenomenal. So it arrives just in time to debut alongside the new Coupe. Okay, we're going to start taking a look at the car now, from the outside in. So the first thing you'll take a look at is the design. We've got a very brief message from Alfonso Albeja, our Director of Design for Infiniti. Is there a few things to say about her?
The very early days, I think probably the first day of the design development for Q60, engineering came to us with a new engine. And this twin turbo, slightly smaller engine, but much more horsepower, 400, actually was a bit of a surprise, to be honest. And it kind of changed our direction, in a sense, or our preconceived idea of what the 3rd generation Q60 would look like. So immediately the designers started to really scale up the grille. The grille started to become much more performance oriented. It was really the mouth breathing to supply oxygen to those twin turbos and that engine. So right off the bat, the design to perform started to dominate. And from the bigger grille, the very strong straight shoulder and the sculpted body was a method for us to design muscularity, a very lean muscularity to this coupe silhouette. So again, I think when you find out that the drivetrain or the heart of the car is a really high level of performance, then the aesthetics and everything really support this.
Good evening, everyone. As you heard from our existing design director, Alfonso Albeja, in the video, the Q60 is something special for Infiniti. My name is Hirohisa Ono. I'm design director of the Infiniti Design Sunday. Our brand is really about power and elegance. Infiniti vehicles are designed to have powerful presence yet clearly crafted by the human hand. Please let me share with you the 3 design DNA we have in order to deliver on the promise. Every Infiniti designed to performance express performance by proportion and musculature. The proportion and musculature telegraph our driving DNA, visualize that our car engineered and designed empower the drive. Every Infiniti embody advanced human artistry, artistry of the hand in the body, and artistry of the hand in the tailoring. Infiniti design articulation of the state-of-the-art technology, but done in the darling created way, which gives the Infiniti state of the finesse of the artisan. In addition, this design DNA, we have design signature that makes our design unmistakably Infiniti. Our 3 design signature is double arch grille, focus human headlamp, and crescent at C-pillar. You will find them all every Infiniti. I'll show in the moment how we interpreted on the Q60. Q60 born out of exciting period when established next generation of our design language. At heart of this was the world premiere of the Q80 inspiration at the Paris show almost 2 years ago. Q60 captured all of the emotion of the Q80 inspiration. Now, the Q60 is the latest proof point of the Infiniti concept approach production maintain the daring shape of the original 2050 concept you can see on this slide. Q60 exemplify Infiniti design its promise. The double arch blue draw inspiration from beautiful arc of the bridge and reflection on the water below it, creating fluid symmetry. To express visually power that lives within, the design team took our iconic double arch grille, scaled it up, thick it, and visually connect to the engine, offsetting it from the body. Infiniti signature headlamp takes after human eye, give it a stare that is both inviting, intense at the same time. This is a slightly covered upper eyelid to give the Q60 human expression. That is alert, decisive, and alluring. The crescent cut sequence drew inspiration from nature. In this case, the moon is the first and last phase, revealed shape yet nuanced form. The Q60 gesture of the crescent cut lean rearward to show front of the roof line. For the Q60 Infiniti, asymmetry interior has been designed around the concept of the tailored driver's glove. Tailored support fitted connect to the machine. Man-machine interface such high black style seat, steering wheel, and shifter has been designed to provide an accelerating driving experience. The cross cooperation between design and engineering and manufacturing has resulted in Infiniti hallmark deep, muscular, yet design body sculpting. Dynamic sandstone red is a newly developed color, accentuate artistic undulation of the body. Ladies and gentlemen, Infiniti has been the forefront of the sports coupe class. Thank you so much, G35, G37, building to the generation of G coupe. The new Q60 future further Infiniti position in the segment. Now, I will explain the Q60 design philosophy. Let's see what looks like offer from the technical point of view. I'm very pleased to hand over Mineki Iwaki-san. Thank you so much.
Hello, this is Mineki Iwaki, manager for vehicle dynamics for Infiniti. And let me explain about the technology on Q60 today. We believe we have equipped the Q60 with some outstanding technologies which empower the driver and provide the confident dynamics and the reassuring power. So firstly, new 3.0 liter twin turbo V6, which is now available in 400 horsepower and 300 horsepower outputs. This engine from the new and exclusive VR powertrain family, it's born out the brand's extensive in-house experience in 6-cylinder powertrain development. And secondly, the world-first technology we introduced in the Q50, direct adaptive steering, fully updated with all new software for the demands of Q60. Infiniti's second generation direct active steering offers